You tell me, say me kind of love, that everything's gonna be okay. You are the father to the fatherless, the miracle working God. You make the blind man see, You made a crippled man to walk. You are the lily of Galilee. You make impossible possible.
Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name. Lord, you are the most high. Hallowed be thy name.
Well, we want to say good day and welcome to our many viewers and those who just joining us tonight on the program Family Connection International Forum, Keeping in Touch. As we say, we're here every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And I'm your host, Carlos Solomon Fasa. Also got with me today, Ben, who is a co-host. And we have another co-host, Levi, who's behind the scene doing some adjustment. And Ben, by the way, I want to say hi and welcome. How are you?
I'm doing good, Barcelo. I'm glad again, as usual, to be on this forum together to stay connected with family members that are far and near, and a platform where we share our life experiences. So it's a pleasure and always an honor to share this platform together with you guys as usual. And I look forward to who we have today as our guest to share what he has to share with us. At the end of the day, that the name of God will be glorified in what we do. Back to you.
Great. As we said earlier, this forum is a community forum. Whatever community you're in and you are carrying on activities, you can contact us and we'll have you on this forum. So what we're doing during the next 3 weeks, last week we had a candidate for president of the Staten Island Liberian community, SILCA. By the way, as I said, Staten Island Liberian community, Staten Island is one of the boroughs in New York City and where Liberians reside. And they have an organization called SILCA, Staten Island Liberian Community. They are going to elections to elect their leader, their president, board of directors, secretary, financial secretary, and other position. So whatever community you might be in, whether it's in a diaspora, whether it's back in Liberia, whether it's in Sierra Leone, any part of the world, you want to talk about your community and what you're going through, don't hesitate, just contact us. And we want to have you on our forum and we'll discuss whatever you are doing in your community. And tonight, we have another candidate who is running for the same position to become president of the Staten Island Liberian community. Last week, we have Reverend Rava Reese. And tonight, we have the privilege to have with us Benedict Snyder, who's also running for this position. And we want to say, Brother Snyder, we are very happy and pleased to have you tonight on our forum. We want to say welcome to Family Connection International.
Thank you.
Great. I think we're going to start this ball rolling. This is a 1-hour program to those who just joining us. If you have a comment, drop us a comment on our live Facebook field. If you want to contribute, maybe by calling in, we'll be putting up a number, maybe during the halfway mark of our program, so you'll be able to call in and make your contribution. Well, Ben, I think I got two Ben on the show tonight. I got Benjamin Ketor and I got Benedict Snyder, so I got to be very careful. But Snyder, let's just start this ball rolling. Tell our many followers who is Benedict Snyder.
So thank you again for inviting me to your forum. The name Benedict Snyder and the man Benedict Snyder is a very simple person. I've moved into this community. I've lived in this community for over 20 years on Staten Island. I attended the Technical Career Institute, where I studied electronic engineering. And since my stay on Staten Island, I participated and got myself involved with the Staten Island community in so many different ways. I serve the old folks, I work with the youth, and I work with the young adults in so many different capacities. And I continue to serve the community even as I live in the community today. So I'm a very simple guy. I'm a people person. I love to see good things for people just as I would love it to happen for me. And if you want to know the motivation, this is what motivated me to come into this race. I want to see good things happen for our community.
Great, Mr. Snyder. I think you have told us exactly what you are involved in and what you are like for this community to do. That's motivate you to do what you are doing and wanting to be president of this organization. Let's take a look at some of your plans. You talk about if you are elected president. I think you have a plan that you want to execute. Can you tell me some of your plans?
So I'm gonna give you just an overview for one or two reasons. I will not go in depth, but I'll give you an interview of some of the plans that this team have for the community. First, what the community is lacking is togetherness. And the reason for this is because of past leadership involvement with the community. The community and leadership, SILCA leadership, has been disengaged. So that's the first thing that's on our plan here, to bring the community together, to reach out to the community and bring them together. Once we are together, we can definitely rest assured of support. That's the first thing that's on our plan. Because without the involvement of the community, we can't go further. The second thing we want to do here is we want to make sure that we tap into the good resources that this country has to offer to our people. This country has a lot of good resources that, if wisely and used appropriately, it can take us a long way. We want to take advantage of those. We want to bring it to our community instead of it being for a person. We want it to be for all. Let it work for all. The second thing we want to work with, we want to invest into our youth. We are home away from home. We have built families over here. Some of us take our children back home. Some of us do not take our kids back home. Our kids that are born here, most of them do not have interest in their heritage. We want to be able to create a platform that can encourage these kids to work with them and make them to have interest in to knowing our history, which is part of their history also.
Thank you, Brother Snyder. I know we got a lot to talk about tonight, but I got your flyer here, which says a couple of things you would like to do. You talk about after school and adult literacy program. How are you going to execute the after school and adult literacy program that you have on your flyer? Well, how do you intend to implement that if elected as president of SILCA?
So let's go to the after school program first. That's why we built a team of professionals, people that already work in those areas and already took on those initiatives. We have a team. The vice president, my vice president, already ran an after-school program on Staten Island. where kids benefited a whole lot from. There were times personally where she had to drive on a daily basis to bring these kids. So that's one. As I mentioned earlier, there also a whole lot of goodwill out there in the community that can provide funds to support these programs, which we will be going after, which we will not be giving you how we're going to go after them now. At due course, we will be giving you all of this information, but for now, we intend to go after those resources to bring to bear. The elderly. Also.
Yeah, yes, let's look at the after school you're talking about. To have an after school in New York or in Staten Island, you will need a space. You will need insurance. You will need insurance. You will need what we call tutors, people who will volunteer to tutor those kids. How are you going to fund those things? Where are you going to get money? Where are you going to find space within the first 100 days to start this program? Because if you are elected president, you want to be elected for 2 years. How will you get insurance right away? Do you have funding to get insurance? Do you have contact to bring in tutors to do this program?
So it's a good question again. I like the fact that you mentioning you, but it's not going to be me alone. It's a team, and that's why we have a team of professionals. There are grants out there that we can go after that sponsor these programs. You mentioned space. As it is right now, we do not have space. So as you know as well as I know that you can't just get space in a day's time or in a month's time or so. With funds, necessary funds, you can be able to acquire space to cater to those programs. So how do we intend to get space? Being that we'll just be coming in, and you know where SILCA is right now. There's no funds that SILCA have. So we're going to be starting from scratch. We will be exploring avenues in collaboration with the community, generate funds, and solicit space where we can start. We're going to start little by little because for now, we do not have it. So it has to be out there. We do not have it.
I agree. If you say you don't have anything and you have to be starting from scratch, why can't you look at the low-hanging fruit? Things that you'll be able to do right away. Because starting SILCA is a big organization. And within the Staten Island community, there are Liberians who are already doing these programs. Why would SILCA also want to engage into the same program? You talk about a vice president who's been doing after school. If our after school is still running, why can't you collaborate with them or partnership with them once they got the wheels already going? Instead of you trying to invent the wheels are already being invented. Why can't we improve on that? Then you creating something else to duplicate these programs. You get what I mean? Yeah. Is there something you're looking at? Because there will be no need of you creating something that already exists on a Liberian community. Like those communities you're trying to bring together, that organization will go and lock ahead with you. Are you looking in our direction?
So nothing is off the table. Once we're elected, nothing is off the table. We intend to meet with all organizations, Liberian-run organizations on Staten Island that run these programs that you mentioned. We look forward to collaboration. We can collaborate with people who already have these programs running. The key point here is how substantial is this program? How much of our community is it reaching? So it will be against that background that we will be meeting with everybody to explore the avenue. Is it better run where it is, or if we bring it into the community and have the community's involvement into its full involvement? how well will they serve the community? So those are possibilities. There is room for that.
Absolutely. And tonight we have in conversation with us a friend and brother, Benedict Snyder, who's running to become the president of the Staten Island Liberian community. He's sharing his agenda, his vision, why he should be elected to this post. And I also have with me, if you are out there and you want to contribute, drop us a comment on our live Facebook field. If you have a question, drop us a question, and we'll have time to follow your question to Brother Snyder. I'll go over to my colleague, Ben Ketter. Yeah?
Thank you so much, Brother Solomon. And welcome to you, Mr. Snyder.
Thank you.
Great. I follow you carefully as you discuss with Solomon Fasa on the show just minutes ago. And I want to follow up this way, firstly, by beginning to know more about you, because as you are going out there, you want people to vote for you to become the president of SILCA, which is an organization that caters or that look after the well-being of Liberians in Staten Island community, or Staten Island community rather. Now, I would like for you to walk us a little bit of your journey that brought you to that community. How did you get to that community in the first place?
So, as we all know, notoriously, one way or another, we were displaced from our country. And as it so happened, divinely, the displacement brought me to the United States of America. And Staten Island was the place that I settled. I've been here for over 20 years. I've worked here. I've had my kids over here. I got family members here. I got friends here. And I've made a lot of good friends. During my time here, I've done a lot of good deeds. And I've made myself available. I've made my services available when needed. I'm not a shy or proud person. I'm very relatable. I'm approachable. And I'm somebody who will want to see you happy, just like I want to be happy. Because if I'm happy and you're not happy and we live in the same vicinity, it's a burden. It's a problem. So treat your neighbors as you will want to be treated. I believe in that. So that's
Great.
who I am.
Thank you so much, Brother Benedict. So tell me a little bit about you coming into this race. What is it so much so in terms of the past leadership that really made you to jump into this race and say, yes, I want to become a president of this community? What is it that the past leadership having done well that you think with your election or with you being elected, eventually, if it happens, that you will be able to do that hasn't been done?
Well, the first thing is very simple. The inability to reach out to the people that you want to serve. If you have a mandate to serve, serving is not only for you to have the authority and then you sit on it and utilize it without coming back to those people that put you there. So the inability of past administrations to reach out to its constituents, trying to have a tete-a-tete with them, asking them situations that leading to degeneration in the community. That's one of the issues that we had in this community, or we have in this community, with leadership that made everyone to step back. If not everyone, but most to step back.
So what sort of plans do you have in place to work in that direction, to see to it that connection is being made with community members? What sort of plan do you have? Can you just walk a little bit in terms of your plan?
Definitely. So one of my plans here is to create a team that will do outreach. Outreach meaning, if you talk to people around the community, most times, or you ask people outside of the community, they will tell you the mindset or the thought is that SILCA jurisdiction only stops with Park Hill and maybe its immediate surroundings. But Staten Island is a large community that we have the North Shore, we have the South Shore, we got Liberians all in those areas. So by not reaching out to those areas, to people that are there who are staying away from the community, not reaching out to them to know what is causing them to stay out, makes people to not have interest in what you do. And if your constituent is not having interest in what you do, you're bound not to succeed because you're not serving them right. And we intend to change that.
Thank you. And I want to go down to this other level where you talk about, because I saw something on your flyer that talks about immigration assistance and awareness. As you know, the community in which you live has a lot of immigrants. Now, if you talk about immigration assistance and awareness, can you go a little bit in depth into how you're going to execute that immigration assistance and awareness for the people that live in that community?
So, thank you. Again, I will always refer to the country that we live in. It utilizes the expertise of people. And fortunately for us in our community, we have a whole wealth of knowledge. People who live in this community with knowledge when it comes to immigration work, you name it. We intend, I'm not even going to say intend, we have people on board, a team that is going to be addressing that issue specifically. Now, let me go further. In our community, a lot of our people need help with paperwork. They need to know how to fill up their forms. The people here who went through the immigration system, they qualify for a whole lot of benefits that they can also send for their family members back home, but they do not have the knowledge how to go about these things. Young folks and we could delve into it, but the older folks who have their children back home, who have their relatives back home, wants to undertake that adventure, but they do not know how to go about it. So as a result, they don't even venture. But with education, with reaching out, if we do outreach, we can get to those people, we can assist them.
Thank you. In the area of healthcare, what is your plan like? Because I see that you have some you have some bullet point that has to do with healthcare advocacy. What is it when you talk about healthcare advocacy for your community? What are you specifically going to do for the people to benefit in that community?
So, with the healthcare in this country, insurance is very important. We have brothers and sisters, even young folks. Some of our brothers who do not have insurance for healthcare. We got some of our brothers and sisters who have medical problems. people, especially from where we come, most time we are shy to step out there and talk to people about health problems that we face with. We can have a network. We're getting older. We need to talk about how we can eat healthily, how we can practice how to stay on medication if medication was prescribed to us. We need to learn how not to be our own doctors in most cases or sometimes. Those are all little information that can help our people. As far as insurance, some of our people do not know that besides the Medicaid, there are other outlets out there that can provide health insurance for them. So and we can also tap into other health areas. We're in a COVID. I'm sorry for that. We're in a COVID era right now. This country is gripped with COVID syndrome. We can also tap into that and educate our people. These are areas where we can also galvanize support from our state government and our state government.
Okay, but now you just talk about COVID. You that is running to become president of this community, what have you done in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic to alleviate suffering of your community?
It's a good question again. It's a good question, but it's also a difficult situation that all of us who find ourselves in this community or in America find ourselves in. Firstly, we got to respect the rules of the country that we live in. Okay, the CDC warned us to be mindful of how we interact with each other. Thank God we just came out of the heat of it, even though we're still sliding into it. Now, as far as reaching out to the community, yes. We talk to people. We try to encourage them to respect the CDC rules. Basically, that's how much we can do for now.
So basically, if I get you correct, there's nothing specific that you have done that people can look at and say, yes, during the course of the crisis, in terms of this pandemic, this is what Benedict and his team were able to do. There's nothing of that kind. Am I correct?
You may not be correct. But let me just add on to it, because every other effort that you want to do, you want to carry out, I think liaising with organizations that have the capability is the best way to go. And this team has organized, liaised with the church, the Trinity Baptist Church, and some other organizations around to encourage our people to take the vaccine, which we have successfully had a couple of our people in our community who are fully vaccinated, and we're still campaigning to have them to go and do the vaccine.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you so much. Now, I have a couple of questions here from our listening audience out there, and I want to bring them on the stream for you to see and give us an answer to them. One of them is from our sister Shangate, and she is concerned. So she's just to give you a shortcut of it. It said, if elected, you can make one immediate change. What would that change be if you are elected as president?
The immediate change that I would first embark on, which I mentioned, I'm going to go back to it again, is to break the cycle of not reaching out to this community. Bringing the community together is paramount. So whether it was a policy or whether it was a mindset not to reach out to the community, that's going to change. I'm going to work to reach out to every corner, north, west, east, south, you name it. Reach out and bring this community together. So that's what I'll do.
And then there comes another one also from another follower that we have on this program this afternoon with us. That is Kelly Brown. Kelly Brown is concerned, and he's asking this question. Mr. Snyder, what knowledge and set skill do you have to bring to the table to lead SILCA if elected?
Well, that's a good question, Mr. Brown. Thank you. I have a whole lot of knowledge to bring to this table. So let me just delve into it. I have leadership ability, 1. I have management skills, 2. And I have made, as part of me, what is lacking or what has been lacking with past administrations for SILCA, the concept of being accountable. That's a skill on its own. If you lack those skills, you lose confidence. People lose confidence in you, like where we are right now. I have the leadership skill and managerial skill, and I have the skill to give account.
Thank you so much, Brother Benedict. And I would like to just follow up with this question. Coming into this position, running to become president of this community, SILCA, what would you say is your greatest strength and your greatest weakness?
So, I love that question because it is my greatest strength that brought me into this race, and that's going to be used fully. My greatest strength is how I interact with people, bringing people together. Bringing people together is my greatest strength. I can work with people from all walks of life. It does not matter your age, your wealth, your race. It does not matter. I am very relatable. I can be approached. Just whatever comes to bringing human beings together, I have those qualities.
What would you say would be your greatest weakness?
So, if I have all of those or qualities and those abilities, definitely there will be somewhere in there that I'll tell you, empathy. Empathy is a weakness. However, it's something that I've worked on and I continue to work on. Notwithstanding all my time in leadership, it has never impeded my ability to deliver the goods and services that were required as a responsibility for my leadership.
Yeah, I want you to drill in a little bit on how empathy is a sign of weakness from you as a leader.
Okay, so you see, empathy, when you empathize a lot, you tend to give in with emotion. Now, so that it be understood well, giving in, not in the sense of compromising or what is set as a standard. But we all have a little bit of empathy in us. So if I see you, if I saw you in a dire situation where you need help, and I'm passing by, I should have, first of all, I should put myself in your shoes because I've seen you clearly. You're in need of help. My help should be able to extend to you, regardless whether I know you or not. As long as I can help you, I should be able to help you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your time for answering my questions and for our listening audience out there to know who you are and what are your plans as you are running to become president of SILCA. I want to turn the floor over to my colleague right now, Mr. Solomon Fassa. You can take over.
Thank you so much, Ben. I think it's a great discussion tonight. For those who join us, just letting you know that this is Family Connection International Forum, keeping in touch. Tonight we are hosting Benedict Snyder, one of the candidates for president of the Staten Island Liberian community, SILCA. And by word of information from the Election Commission of SILCA, I think there's a debate scheduled for Tuesday. That will be 4/21 at 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Zone. I don't know. The Election Commission have given us enough full details as to which candidate will be debating. If we had the information, we're going to share that with you. But I guess the advisor and the consultant to the election commissioners should be monitoring the show. I will put up a number. Maybe if you want to call, you could call and we'll put you through to be able to share this information. Brother Snyder, let me come back to you. You talk about your skill set, management and leadership role. Can you go further to tell us where have you used this skill? In which area were you a manager to execute a managerial skill? In which role you served a leadership role? And what did you do to improve that organization?
Thank you. So, again, I always come back to the country that we find ourselves in. It provides opportunity. And since I've been in this country, I've had the opportunity to work with non-for-profit organizations where I serve in so many different capacities. But prominent in my 20 years, I'll say I've served probably 15 or a little over 15 as manager within the management area. I've had the opportunity to supervise over 40, 50 employees from all walks of life. Liberians, Ghanaians, Sierra Leoneans, Nigerians, African Americans, Caucasians, you name it.
Do you care to tell us where you work? Because this is about telling the people your ability and those who are listening to know exactly what you're talking about.
So I've worked with the Independent Living Association. I've worked with the Volunteers of America. The Independent Living Association is an organization that cater to our brothers and sisters who have developmental disabilities.
People with special needs, yep.
With special needs. And if you will know, our community serves that population a whole lot. And while working in those areas with the Volunteers of America, the Independent Living Association, the AHRC organizations, I've had the opportunity and I was blessed to be of a blessing to Liberians, Americans, Nigerians, just people from all walks of life, where I was able to employ these people. And I find that as an accomplishment. Not many people you find will have interest in helping the better man. So if I was able to do that and put food on the table of over 75 to 100 Liberians and Africans and Americans, I think it's an accomplishment, and I'm proud of it.
Great. What about your okay, that has to do with your managerial skill and leadership role. You talk about nonprofit. There's this issue in SILCA that executive in most cases don't agree with the board. Mm-hmm. How do you intend to work this out if elected as president?
Well, first of all, you have to have a structure. I'm not suggesting that SILCA does not have a structure, but with a structure and everyone respect their role I think we can move the needle further. The executive is a separate branch. The board have their role to play. So if we can all respect those roles, I think we can move the community further. But let me also move to another topic. You know, and I know our people most times. Not all. Some of our brothers and sisters find it pleasant to disrupt. And disrupting only hurt you, it hurt me. At the end of the day, if the mindset is to disrupt, you also hurting the organization. Remember, the organization is not meant for us who are aging right now. We should also think about our kids that are coming up. How can we encourage them to take over leadership?
Great. But this issue of accountability in SILCA, people complain that people are not paying their dues. How will people pay dues if the organization is not accountable to the people? What is your position if you're elected as president on the issue of accountability? What will you do to be accountable to the community, to regain that confidence?
Well, first of all, it's a good thing that people like you have this forum, to educate our people and to let them know. It's sad that over the past, SILCA have not been accountable or giving reports as it would have been expected. So with this administration, we've opened it up with professionals and people who are very reputable. We intend to have check and balances, periodic visitation of all of our records, but most importantly so, to also have the people that we serve involved, to reach out to them, to bring those reports, whether it's going to be quarterly or semi or annual. We will ensure that one way or the other we get information out to the people, not just out to them, but in a timely fashion.
Great. You who come to Equity should come with clean hands. If you are out there, you want to participate, we have a number on the screen. You can call us and we'll be able to put you through. Are you willing to tell us from your own campaign how much you raised and how much you expended? At least for transparency. We know we're not going to own your money, but I see other candidates trying to give us some breakdown. Is your team ready to do that? At least for transparency. We know that indeed if you elect a president, you will follow suit.
Well, so far, we have not had any fundraisers. Thank you for asking the question, because we have a fundraiser coming up on the 24th of April, which is this coming Saturday. So there, we will be raising funds, and you can bet we will bring out our report to our constituents and our supporters for transparency's sake, like you said.
Great.
Which is supposed to be.
Great. In your leadership role, is there any decision you made in the past as a leader that you may have done differently?
I'm a little, maybe is that how the question you want to bring it though?
Oh, what I'm saying is simple.
Okay.
You served in leadership role before,
right?
And you made decisions. Is there any of the decisions that you made in the past that you regret today that you have made differently?
Well, no man is perfect. Yes, somewhere down the line we err, but what's most important is when you err, your ability to recognize the mistake take responsibility, and learn from the mistake. If you can apply those three things, I think you can always have a clear conscience. And whatever errors that I may have made in the past, I've acknowledged them, I've recognized it, I've accepted it, I've owned up to it, and I've learned from it.
Can you give us a scenario, maybe state an instant where you learned from your mistake and you think no decision would have been different from what you thought today? Because people grow, they get more mature. Can you give us an instant in your leadership role, what decision you made that you shouldn't have made at the time?
So, administratively, you come across decisions that you should take when it comes to dealing with employees. And sometimes the decisions may be difficult, but you're just going to have to take it. Now, there are times that I was faced with, I'll definitely, okay, so let me give you a scenario. I had an instance where my boss had a problem with one of our employees wearing African clothes to work. And she said it was not appropriate, which I didn't see it not to be appropriate, because you can't tell a man what to wear. So it became an issue that we had to face the union. Now, the disagreement led to sour relationship that led to a whole lot of different things that I cannot get into right now. I took a decision there that in hindsight, I probably would not have taken, and I would not want to delve into that decision.
Great. And tonight, if you just joining us and you want to contribute, we have a number on our screen. You can call the number. We can put your call through and make your comment to Brother Snyder. If you have a question, maybe you don't want to talk, you can also type on our live Facebook field. We'll be able to take your question. I'll go over to Ben. I know our time will soon be out. Ben, over to you.
Thank you, Brother Solomon. And to you, Brother Benedict.
Yeah.
I have a question here. And this question is from one of our colleagues. That is Minister Levi Titus Daniels, which says, greetings, Mr. Snyder. If elected as president of SILCA, will you submit your leadership to audit if the need be? What say ye?
That is the whole reason for which I'm into this race. Lack of accountability. So if you're going against lack of accountability, you definitely know that you, as the one who's trying to make it right, should be an example. And to your question, the answer is yes, definitely.
Great. Thank you. So then, talking about accountability, I know my colleague asked you a question earlier about telling us currently what amount of money your campaign have raised, and you rightly stated that you haven't staged any fundraiser yet to give us that figure. Can you tell us a little bit, how have you been funding your campaign up to date?
So, when you relate to people, they relate to you. If your campaign is it's a broad-based campaign that is supported by people who are willing to put their 1 cent and 2 cents in there, you are blessed. Now, I know probably you say, but how much? These are people who are individually taking on the different projects, different things that we need right now to solidify ourselves to our fundraiser. So flyer, the need for flyer, somebody would just, one of the members of the team would suggest that they'll take the initiative. Registration, members, volunteer, and do it. So basically, these people are individually volunteering services to take on these projects. So it's not funds that's coming within the organization. These people are taking the initiative.
It's all about voluntary services. People are volunteering to be able to meet up with this challenge that you have in becoming president of SILCA. But Benedict, the community in which you are running, I'm very sure it has a good number of single mothers.
What was it again? Could you come again?
The community in which you are running to become the president, I'm very sure that it has a number of single mothers or single parents.
Yes, definitely.
So do you have anything in mind to help people of that kind in your community climb up the ladder of success?
Absolutely, yes, we do. As a matter of fact, the vice president for this ticket has an expertise in that area. And not to go into detail, we have a particular area in there that we lently expanded on. And if you refer to our flyer, you'll see it there. Just besides single mothers, a lot of our brothers and sisters are in foster care. They're in other areas that we don't know of. We want to serve as a liaison to go after these kids where our community can be representative. That if the system wants to come after our kids for any kind of behavior, they can communicate with us first. These are programs that we want to go after.
Great. Thank you so much, Benedict. I have this question for you that has to do with leadership or leaders in general. Vying for this position, what is your take, or where do you stand with this notion that some people believe leaders are born or made? What do you think? What is your take on that? Do you believe that leaders are born or made? If they are born, why? And if not, why not?
So it's funny you asked that question, because a few days ago I was sitting down and I was thinking, I'm like, okay, people say leaders are born, but leadership can also be learned. What happened to somebody who went to school and learned and have an ambition to become a leader? How do you know? It said anything that is genetic. It says, it is within a gene that you are born to be a leader. So, yes, you can be born with leadership abilities, but not to be born as a leader. So I believe leadership can be learned. There are people who never ascended to leadership before, and leadership not only becoming president. Leadership comes in so many ways, in your local organizations, in your church. People who take initiative to lead people, they are also leaders. So yes, leadership can be learned. And that's what we want to teach to our youth, to our kids.
So if I get you correct, you are saying that leaders can be born and they can also be made, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you so much, and I appreciate it. It was a very great time interacting with you, and I hope and I wish you all the best in your endeavor in becoming the president of SILCA if elected. Back to you there, Solo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ben. Will you want to take this question from Alosha Bien Boa? Oh, sorry. It's let me see whether I can get this correct. Is that it? Okay. This is a question. If elected, Mr. Snyder, are you going to audit the outgoing leadership for the purpose of transparency and accountability?
like I said to you, nothing is off the table. However,
can you commit to that? We want a definite answer. It should be a yes or no.
You want a yes or no answer?
Yes.
I can tell you again, definitely nothing is off the table. Nothing is off the table. Because if you're entrusted with public funds, you know that you are accountable to those funds.
Great. The next one is from Taylor Brown. How will you address time management with family, personal job, and running SILCA?
Well, before you make such a decision to vie for such position, you want to have a family discussion. That way, everybody part of the team, so that you don't step out on a community errand, or you're not on community work, and then you come back home and face a problem. But if you have a family discussion and everybody's in on this, I think you can strike a very good balance there, and which I have already done.
Great. I know the food pantry is one area that benefit our community greatly. What plan do you have for the food pantry if elected as president? Because that pantry is a great help given the fact that COVID-19, a lot of people have lost their job and they are living on food pantry. What plans do you have for the food pantry?
Well, it depends again what you're saying. I do not know whether the food pantry is in jeopardy. If it is in jeopardy, we will work to revive it and get it out of jeopardy. But like you rightly said, the food pantry continue to serve our community, put food on people's table, on our brothers and sisters' table. So we're definitely going to continue to support that and sustain it.
Great. There should be some straightforward question. What makes you a better candidate than the other two?
I'm a better candidate than the other two because, one, I've been in the community. I've worked with the community like some of the others have worked. However, the solution and the problem that we face today, some of the others have been a part and parcel of this problem. So that alone makes me a better candidate than the others. My unique ability to connect with people in my community also makes me a better candidate. My interpersonal skill, how I relate to people, all of these things count. How do I navigate my relationship with the little ones? In my book, everybody is a somebody. I do not ascribe to the idea that you have to be of a certain social status before you can be counted or before you can be reached out to. We all are in this together. We are home away from home. We should all learn to bond and hold together.
SILCA is a non-for-profit, and non-profit normally live on grant and other stuff. But accountability is key, which we already addressed. Do you have idea in grant writing? Or if so, how are you going to generate these resources to take care of some of these projects?
And so, SILCA is a non-for-profit, that's true. And the good thing is we live in a country that has vast resources. And to even add up to it, it helps you reach out for the resources. That's why we form a team of professionals, the people within that area who have the expertise with grant writing, with all of the bullet points you see on our platform. So we're going to utilize the skills of everyone whoever has a skill in a specific area, that skill will be utilized. I'll think, for example, if we want to do a PR, and I'm not in that area where I have the expertise, and you have it, this team can utilize your skills. We can reach out to you. So we're going to be taking advantage of everyone's input.
Great. I know time is fast spent. We have to go tonight on this program, but I know you said a lot tonight. You were able to share your platform, your idea. If you lose the election, will you accept the result and work with the winner if asked to serve on a committee?
Definitely, because we, like I mentioned earlier, we are trying to bring this organization back to life. Definitely, I'm sure with the team that we've put together and the expertise that we have, our relationship with our community, we're definitely sure, and we're very optimistic of our campaign. We are certain of victory. So, but most definitely, we can work with anybody.
Great. You're always talking about team. I know this election, only the president and vice president run on the same ticket. What's the team are you talking about? You care maybe to enumerate call names, those team members that you got on board, that you depend on are if elected, because this thing is not just about team. How committed is the team members to have this thing going through?
And let me outline the team to you. You got the vice president, you got the president, you got the religious community, you have the Liberian people on Staten Island, SILCA. We are the team. If you cannot give me your support, I will not succeed. I will work to earn your confidence. Once I have your confidence, I know I will have your support. So with that in the background, I can assure you that success is sure.
Great. I think time is fast spent. We have to go tonight on this program. I don't know. Somebody is still concerned. That's Alosha V.M. Boa. He's quoting 1 Timothy 3:1-8. He who inspire or higher office desire a good thing, but he must first be able to manage his own family. Are you married, Mr. Snyder?
That's a good question. I'm not married. I'm in the process, but I'm happily obligated to my fiance.
Great. I think Mr. Snyder, I think time is fast spent. We want to say thank you for taking our invitation. We'd just like to have your parting comment. What would you like to tell your community, your people out there, as your parting comments?
So I like to say to my community, here I am reaching out to you to work with me, elect me as your president so I can deliver the services that you have not been receiving. Together, we can work and make it happen. We're having a town hall on the 24th of this month, which is next week, which is this Saturday coming. At that town hall, you can come with all your questions, all your concerns. It's a town hall, but it's also a fundraiser. It will be held at 127 South Avenue, Staten Island, New York. The zip code is 10303. It starts at 3 p.m. You're all welcome. Come, let's brainstorm. Let's see how we can shape this thing and make SILCA come alive once again. But not just come alive, but come alive to stay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Snyder. We want SILCA to come alive, not just coming alive, but come alive to stay. It's all about the community. Whoever wins, the community will have to move forward. It's not about Snyder. It's not about Reverend Reed. It's not about brother Abanico. It's all about whoever wins. So join us next Sunday. We'll have Abanico Mayor with us as he shares his agenda for the community. I think this is fair enough that people should be able to listen to their incoming president. Whoever wins, we have to put together to follow the community file. And for those who are in Little Liberia group chat, be aware that there will be a debate on Tuesday night at 7 p.m. according to the Election Commission. I don't know who will be debating because the information is scanty and not clear, but we are aware that it will be through Zoom. So join us in there. We'll be there to follow the whole process. Until then, we want to say have a good night, and we'll see you on Sunday when we'll get back.